Ah, I'm muted. Okay. Volume should be working now. Okay, sweet. So, all right. So today is going to be a quick stream. I'm only going to be like an hour max because I should have started 3 hours ago. I had to reformat my computer and reinstall everything and set everything back up again. So, unfortunately, it's going to be a quick one. But we're going to talk about the astrology for the week, what's going on now, what's coming up. I'm probably follow me on Instagram if you're not already following me on Instagram because I do post more frequently there. I am going to probably go back to this sort of weekly format now of doing videos or live streams talking about the weekly astrology instead of daily videos as I was doing on Instagram and putting on YouTube as well, because my tablet's not working. So this will be it for the moment. We'll be just talking about the weekly astrology and how it's going to affect us all. And then if there's something specific I want to talk about, like maybe the Mercury retrograde for each sign, where it's happening in for each rising sign, what house it's happening in, how it might be affecting you, maybe something like that. So now let's just get into it so we can get everything, talk about everything that we need to for the week, and then yeah, go from there. Oh, my charts are all stuffed up now. I need to fix the settings. So we want all points. I think it's normally set to this. Let's save it. Oh, okay, no. We don't want everything because that's a bit crazy. Just playing around with my settings, trying to see if they'll fix, this is why I had to reformat my computer because my solar fire wasn't working. Okay, this is way too much going on. We'll just confuse everybody. What settings do I need to choose again? I think it's this one. Nope. Oh dear. Okay, actually let me reset. If I reset the chart. Go back to default settings. Restore. Yes. Okay, that didn't fix it. All right, so we need. Okay, we want planets and asteroids. Pretty sure it's one of these selections. The default standard settings. All right, that will do. That looks pretty good. Okay, so hi Chiron, how are you? Alrighty, so you can see my little thing. I don't know if it's better when I draw in paint, but we'll just go with this for now. So this is the current chart right now. So we've just passed through, we've still got the moon in Virgo. We've just passed through a new moon in Virgo. New moons are always about new beginnings, new opportunities, a fresh start, a refresh, restart. Now, it's the start of a new moon cycle for the month, also for a 2-week cycle as we move to the next full moon, and also a 6-month cycle as we move to the full moon in Virgo, which will be the culmination, the celebration, the ending point of this cycle, the 6-month moon cycle. So the moon, that the whole new moon energy usually takes a couple of days till it starts again, because Oh, horse-drawn portrait. Welcome. Thank you for the bits. Oh, do you have a new name? Horse-drawn portrait. Yeah, I streamed last week on Twitch actually. So yeah, I'm gonna get back on hopefully weekly streaming again. How are you? So, yeah, so that moon, the new moon energy usually takes a couple of days to build up and start. So it's not like usually wise to start trying to do manifestation or rituals or spells or anything like that until that moon has started to build up in that energy, or putting our intentions out there, whatever it is, until a couple of days after. Till we start to see that, you know, slither of the moon, and we can actually see it in the sky is when energy starts. Oh, Big Chewy, hey! Oh, how are you? Good to see you. Good to hear from you. How's your art going? Yeah, so this new moon was squaring Mars, and that's made it feel a bit more restrictive in regards to like us feeling like really abundant and expansive, and wanting to like set new intentions and grow and have this amazing new moon energy. It sort of put it more feeling a bit more restricted, a bit more like we have to really like stop and look at our options and what's going on, and face the reality and see, you know, it's whenever we have a square, it's always a detour. It's like trying to direct us in another way. It's trying to show us, teach us a hard lesson, or show us something that is not working the way it should be. We're not in our integrity enough, or we are going off course and not going the right way. So it's usually sort of like a tense or difficult aspect to sort of push us to another direction, or put us back on track or something like that. The thing with the hard aspects is they push us into action, and because it's Mars driven, it's something around you know, our drive and what we're going after and what we're wanting to in that Gemini energy. It's much about our mind and our mindset and our planning and our communication and what we're wanting to put out there and share, and information and learning and all of that stuff. So it's like coming to some kind of halt or stop to redirect us in some way, and or to help us to see something, to you know, that's it's the square energy is Saturnian like, so it's to show us where we need to show up more, or what we're not needing to not show up for. It's like, especially with this Mars and Gemini energy, it's like we can feel like we have too many projects, too much information, too many things going on. There's just so much energy, and it's like all over the place, and it's like we need to just come back in, bring our energy back in. And that Virgo new moon is very much what it's pointing at. That energy is to bring our energy back in within, in towards our inner self, so we can get more on track with our health and our well-being. So finding more balance and harmony within our routines, our daily practices, our health, our well-being, all those Virgo themes that are about getting organized and being healthy, and being able to be of service. And you can't be of service and be able to go out and do your day-to-day things if you're not in a healthy mind state, or your body's not healthy, you're not able to function on a mind, body, soul level. And it's very much about that. And because the ruler of that new moon is up here at Mercury, it's the ruler is Mercury, and it's up here in Libra, it's very much about finding balance and peace and harmony within ourselves, within our relationships, within how we relate to others. So it can be where we're you know, giving or putting too much energy into you know, people, projects, things that are taking a lot of our energy and time away, and not allowing us to then show up for things that we need to show up for. And one of those things is like showing up for ourselves and being able to be have a healthy mind, body, and soul, as I said. So being able to, you know, it could be like, yeah, having, so this is a reset in a sense too, or like a redirection, like I said, in a sense of like our health. So, you know, we might change our diet, or decide we need to start eating better, or we start, you know, exercising, or start a new exercise routine or something like that, or we start a new commitment to a better daily practice, what, you know, could be like meditation and yoga or something like that, that helps to ground us and center us and balance us. Especially when we're talking about Mercury and Virgo energy, it's very much about the mind and being overactive and really needing to come back into the body. So we need to find that balance within our daily routines, what we do on a day-to-day basis, and how we can be of service to ourselves and to others, especially when it's like we're talking about that relationship energy, that Libra energy. It's like where we can neglect our own needs because we're focused too much on the other or the outside the other people, our other relationship or other people, or too concerned about relating with other people instead of being concerned about our own well-being. Good call, you caught me. It's good. I'm going all over and drawing. Thanks for asking. Oh, that's awesome. I won't do any readings today, sorry, because I'm only going to be on for a short time. It took me 3 hours to get set up because I had to reformat my computer and all sorts, so I won't be here for too long for this chat today. But as I said, I'm going to come on weekly, so next weekend I'll have more time and we can look at some charts and do some readings for sure, which I really wanted to do today, but I'm not going to get time. So yes, that new moon energy, the main thing is about finding our center and balance within ourselves again. So we're going to be working on that over the next 6 months. It's going to be more, of an internal thing too. We're not going to be looking externally to others, to outside sources to find that peace and harmony within ourselves. So it's like not looking towards relationships, not looking towards money and finances or things that are outside ourselves. It's all about within us and our energy and what we can do in the moment within our own energy and physical body and stuff like that. So so that Mercury too. So if we move the chart ahead a day, let's go into this chart. Let me just change the chart over for you. Okay, so if we move the chart forward a day, we can see Mercury is still moving through Libra. So it's moving 3 degrees, 4 degrees. So still just under a degree a day. And Mercury's going to station direct and go retrograde in about a week and a half. So there we go. So we've got the stationing retrograde. So the 9th of September. So we're not quite into that energy yet, but the shadow part is important because what happens in the 2-week lead up to the retrograde is what the retrograde themes will be about for us. So if so Mercury retrograde is always a time of reflecting, going within, focusing on so Mercury is all about our mind and our communication, our thoughts, our thought processes. It also rules short distance travel and vehicles and technology. So all of that stuff, it goes into a redo, refresh, restart, rethink, reevaluate, anything. So it's like instead of the Mercury's energy going out, it's going more within into internal, and it helps us to, get back on track with some things too. So it's like help us to replan things, to reorganize ourselves and our lives. It can things with communication can come up to help us like clear anything or to help us to get to see where some improvement or fixes or changes need to happen within our communication, within our contracts and dealings with others. It's a time when we need to sometimes fix things so things can break or situations come up where we need to fix something or rework something or redo something or something in some way. So it could be like, a report or something like that. You have to redo a report that you've done in the shadow period. When it comes up to the Mercury retrograde period, that's all wrong, or it needs redoing or some refreshing or something in some way. So it has to be redone, or it could be a contract that needs to be re-signed, or the terms and conditions need to be re-evaluated or renegotiated or something like that. People from the past, relationships from the past, conversations from the past and situations can come back up as well for rehash, whatever it is. Like, it's like to clear the air, to get more clarity on something, to be able to move forward. And it's a time too when Mercury's in that retrograde period where it's, solutions and situations come up to bring us more information and more answers and that, and ideas can come through and all that, and old things from the past can come up again, like projects and people and things like that, to reinvigorate some old energy to help us to move forward in some way, something that we've left behind that we need to refresh or reintegrate the energy or something like that as well. So that Mercury retrograde, because it's in Libra, it's starting in Libra and it's going back into Virgo. So it's going to be all about our relating to others and relationships and conversations to do with that, and communication, and also any kind of like contracts and plans and all that involve relationships and business contracts and other people. It's also going, because it's in that Virgo energy, it's retrograding back into, so we're going back over that energy that it's that it was moving past, a couple of weeks ago, and that's very much that reorganization energy. It's to do with again, the health and the mind and the body, and to do with what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, and it is just very much that Virgo energy is very much about being of service and being able to show up and be of service. But to do that, you have to be in your best well-being state, basically, to be able to show up for others and to be able to be of service in the best way possible. So and it's very much a problem-solving energy. So it's that Mercury retrograding back can help us solve some problems or come up with some solutions to things, because that see, the thing with the Virgo energy too, it can come across as like really critical and harsh and nitpicky and whatever, because they want to fix things, they want to solve things. It's very much that energy that's like, it wants to work out why things aren't working and fix them and solve the problems and get things back working, basically. It's work. It wants things to work, and to work well as well. So to be a well-oiled car, or it's like things are in good working condition and they're well organized and they're up to standard. There's no shortcuts and there's no dodginess when it comes to Virgo. It's analytical, it's attention to detail, it's making sure things are correct and right and done well. So yeah, we can be going back over old stuff, anything to do with that, conversations, people, technology, cars, communication, our writing, it could be some kind of poetry or something you've written, or a book, like you going back over something you've written as part of your book or something like that you're writing, or whatever it is. Contracts, again, is a big thing too. So that we're in that 2-week shadow period, and then we're going to get to that 9th. We're going to hit the real hard energy of this Mercury when it's at its most intense, stationing direct. And then we're going to have 3 weeks of Mercury in retrograde, and we're going to go through the normal, this happens 3 to 4 times a year. It's nothing unusual. It's just to be aware of it. You can't put your life on hold always, but to be aware that whatever's going on in that time, there can be changes that come. Like if you set anything in stone during a Mercury retrograde, and once you become aware of the energy and really tune into it and look at your life and where it's happening and see it, you'll see that it does happen. It is actually, there's a reason that it's talked about so much, because it's legit. There's a lot of memes and stuff like that, but it is legit. The energy does affect us in some way. So it's like, you buy something, you got to keep the receipt, because later on you'll either want to exchange it or it'll break, or you change your mind, or you sign anything or agree to anything. Just know that later on down the track, do it knowing that there could be changes down the track, not thinking that everything's set in stone and that's it. It's just so clear cut when it may not be the case. And so I've seen it happen plenty of times. Okay, that's that, yeah, and going back into that Libra energy, it's definitely about finding that balance within our own, the way we communicate with others. and how we, you know, communicate in a peaceful and harmonious way so that we, you know, have people on side and not off side, basically. People want to work with us and want to like partner up with us. So that's the Mercury retrograde energy. What else? Why is Venus jumping out at me at the moment? So Venus is in an opposition, right now as we speak. So Venus is over here in 20 degrees in Leo, and we've got Saturn down here 20 degrees in Aquarius. So they're in an exact opposition right now. So that Venus in Leo energy, Venus is all about our love language. It's our how we find our pleasure. It's what we value. It's what we love. How we want to be loved, all that stuff. So, and it's our money and our finances as well, our possessions. So Venus, in that Leo energy, Venus wants grand acts of like love, basically. Venus in Leo, it wants all the center of attention of the love to be on itself. So that Venus energy is very much the energy of wanting to be, you know, pampered and looked after and chased after, maybe, or you know, have a lot of attention towards itself, basically. It's passionate, it's fiery, it can be romantic as well. It's very much an energy of us being truthful and honest about our love and what makes us, what you know, is going to make us content within the space of love and pleasure, and what we value as well, and our money and finances. So that Leo energy is bold, it's courageous. So that Venusian energy can be like that within love, within relationships. This also can be a selfish energy, energy where like it's all about me, and it's all really, at the end of the day, it's about tuning into the heart and what the heart desires, what the heart really wants, and how we really want to be loved, how we really desire to be loved, and have that love and pleasure and all that sort of stuff. So Venus there in that opposition with Saturn, so that opposing energy. So it's always, the opposition is, it's a Mars-like aspect, but it's another point of view, another perspective, someone coming up against us like a brick wall almost, and saying, you know, no, look at this, like, I don't agree with you, like, no, it's this way, rah, rah, rah. It's like helping us to see another point of view, another perspective. It's the scales too, that opposite energy. So it's like wanting us to see the other polarity, wanting us to see another point of view, whether we're open to it or not, or whether we clash and fight against it. That's the opposition energy, and it depends on whatever else is going on in our charts and everything else as well, and the energies and whatever else is affecting them. So, and it's just, everything's playing off each other at the moment. It's crazy in astrology. So that Venus coming up against Saturn is Saturn saying, no, slow down, and showing, you know, you need to show up in this way, or you need to take responsibility here, or why you're not doing this here, or you're not being in your integrity here, or you're not doing this, that. There can be some of those sorts of things that come up. It's like you're not working hard enough or putting enough effort in, or you're not showing up enough, or you're not being in your integrity, or there's something there, that opposition. It's like showing you the other side. Being too caught up in like the love and the romance, and not serious enough and grounded, and just caught up in the passion and desires, and not in reality and what's real and what we can commit to and be serious about. So there can be some kind of energy there. And if it's to do with like our finances and our money, then it's like being more serious and restrictive and sensible when it comes to our finances and our money, and not being Venusian-like and just wanting to indulge and just have everything and have all the grand, bold things and the expensive things and everything like that. But to be more sensible and restricted, and only do what's within one's means, sort of thing. So Saturn showing up there like that, which is like, you know, an opposition, and Saturn you could think is bad, but that kind of sounds like a good thing to me. Saturn's like, you know, don't go too far, you know, don't go over the top too much, or don't be over dramatic too much, or whatever it is when it comes to love and relationships and your values and all of that. So yeah, that's that opposition there. So what else is going on in the chart? So we have Uranus. Let's just go on retrograde as well. So Uranus is the liberator. Uranus Uranus going within is going to liberate, instead of like liberating us collectively and trying to wake us up on a collective and consciously or whatever, like Uranus, bringing some kind of like crazy world event to like wake us all up. It's like more an internal time now when that Uranus in retrograde. So we're going to wake up within. So something within ourselves is going to be triggered to rebel, to wake up, to want to do something differently, to want to break free of something, to want to shake things up, to rebel, to want to liberate the self, to evolve, basically, the soul in some way. So there's going to be like an internal explosion that goes on, an internal earthquake, an internal shocking thing that comes up, or something like that comes from within us, that is going to create change, bring change, and bring some kind, over the next few months while it's Uranus is retrograding, and bring some kind of revolution within ourselves, sort of thing. So the outer planets retrograde for a lot longer because they're further out, and so they're further out from Earth, and so they are further away from Earth the longer they're retrograding, because they're further away, the cycle is longer, whereas the closer planets to Earth, the cycles are faster because they're closer to Earth. So these retrogrades from the outer planets, so like this Uranus one, is it lasts over, it happens every year, and it lasts over like half the year or whatever, almost. So the energy carries on for a lot longer, and it's a lot deeper, and it's not just like fast and happens just overnight. It's like a build up, and things culminate, and then the energy happens and works through it and whatever else. So that Uranus in that retrograde energy, so it's moving away, so it was moving towards the north node. It's moved past the north node, and now it's going to move back towards the north node. So the north node is about our destiny and our future. It's about what we're moving towards, what we're heading towards, what we're growing into. It's our destiny. It's fated energy. So there's going to be some kind of situational circumstances that come up as Uranus moves towards the north node again over the next few months, that will bring some kind of change, rebellion, whatever it is, liberation within ourselves, that will help us move towards, or get surer towards our future and our destiny. And it can be like sparks of insight and stuff like that. That's very Uranian, sparks of insight, or Aquarian-like, but yes, sparks of insight coming through situations that maybe happen in the world that trigger something within ourselves that help us to break free. But it's not about collective energy, it's personally, so it affects us personally. So the other person next to us may not be affected, or other family members, or our workplace, or whatever. It's not something collectively, it's internally for all of us, depending on where it's happening in your chart, where that Taurus energy is. And again, so it's in Taurus theme, so it's going to be about our values, it's going to be about our finances, our money, our self-worth, our confidence. It's about our self-worth, our confidence, our abilities, our skills, our security, our ability to support ourselves financially, and the ability to be grounded and stable and have be able to like manifest, basically, and build and grow something that comes from our own resources and skills and abilities and talents, not from outside sources. So Uranus is helping again to bring us some insight and liberate us again, and help us evolve internally to move towards our future and our destiny, basically, with that North Node energy there. So it's like, because these energies have already passed over once already, because they're doing it again, it's like something was missed, or something was forgotten, or something didn't fully come through the first time when these energies passed over. So it's going back again to refix, regain some more clarity, get something else that was missed or forgotten or left behind, basically. So that's that Uranus retrograde energy. So if we just move the chart forward, we'll go by month. So Uranus, 18 degrees down there, 17 degrees. The North Node's still moving too, so it's moving further away from Uranus now as well. If I go back again, 13 and 18 degrees, yeah. So the North Node has left now, has like done its part within that energy of where Uranus is traveling. So the North Node's left the faded energy. It's moving on now towards its the destiny it's taking us towards, but Uranus is going to go back over that North Node energy to see what else needs to be brought forward to evolve and move forward. So we're going forward. Where are we? Uranus. Thanks for the follow, Hungry Soup. Welcome. So where are we? Uranus is 14 degrees and no longer retrograde. And what are we in January? So it is for the rest of the year. We've got that Uranus energy playing out. So evolving us internally so that we can take some action to liberate and move forward within ourselves towards our destiny and our future. So yeah, if you didn't see my video last week, my live stream I did, we had a chat about astrology and history because I went through the Mars in Gemini energy that is going to be playing out until March next year and what that's going to be bringing up for us personally and collectively on a world scale. And the next 6 months are going to be quite intense, quite extreme in the world. We're going to see a lot happen with, all sorts of stuff. With the economy and with the population and people and their health and all sorts of things are going to come up. And yeah, it's going to be a tough few months, but it's basically like, at the end of the day, having awareness is one of the most important things to guide you. And that's why astrology is so powerful, because it gives you that awareness and helps to understand the current energies and what's going on and what's ahead and what's coming up, so you can prepare and be aware and know that things are in cycles and they're changing and they don't last forever, and that there will be an end point and things will shift and change and all sorts. So all right, so that's that Uranus energy. Oops. Where are we now? We've gone too far. All right, so back to where we are now. What else do we want to talk about? What else is quite extreme at the moment? That Mars in Gemini is huge, and I spoke about it so much last week. I don't want to rave on about it again this week so much. So let's just move the chart a day and just go through the week and just see what's happening. So we're, again, like I said, currently in that Virgo moon energy finishing, we're not finishing, but starting that new moon energy, because the moon has to build up, as I said. So we've got the moon still for another day, I would say, in Virgo at least. So that focus of the moon is, how we're feeling internally. It's our mind, our internal self, and it's focused on getting organized and cleaning up and getting healthy and fixing things and preparing and all that sort of stuff, basically. So the moon will then move into Libra for the next few days. So the focus will then be on, so let's just move forward. So the 30th, which is Tuesday. So Tuesday, the moon will move into Libra. So then we'll be focused on our relationships, finding balance and peace and harmony with others, basically, and within ourselves, within our emotions and how we relate to others. So the moon and Mercury will meet together as well. So moon and Mercury conjuncting is going to be, maybe some kind of communication or message or information that comes through, and it can be from women because it's in that moon energy, or it can just be something that is in relation to, because we're in that Libra energy, to relationships and our feelings and our emotions and how we're feeling within our relationships, and some kind of, could be even some kind of plans coming together, because these two energies coming together that involve, helping us to find that emotional fulfillment and contentment within our relationships. What else is, so the moon will also be in a trine at that point too with that Mars energy, because we have those two air signs right now. So we've got that Mercury and that Mars energy in a trine, so that's quite nice. So we do have some nice energy happening, because we've had quite tense energy for the last week. So there are some nice aspects building up, so that, there are some, it is building up because that Mercury is going forward too. So, and we're in that energy. We've gone 2 days forward, so we'd be in it now. So that Mercury and Mars, so it's like in that trine energy. So there's some kind of opportunities to, move our plans forward, or to take some action around, what we want to put out there or communicate or speak or write about. There could be some kind of action we can take towards like social media or media or advertising or marketing or something like that, or some kind of contracts or agreements, is a positive opportunity for, any kind of good circumstances, situations that involve those things. And for us to get organized and to get healthy and to get on track and to get more, because it's that Mercury balance within our mindset and what we're going after and what we're wanting to achieve and all that. So there's actually quite a nice energy of those two in that trine. It can be really helpful over the next few days for helping us to get some things done, basically, and to be more centered in our mind and be able to do things and not be so scattered and just like stuck, essentially. And not so not procrastinate so much. It's definitely not an energy about procrastinating with those two there. We shouldn't be stuck in our minds. Mars, the sun. So the sun is in that Virgo energy now too for the next month. So that sun is highlighting that Virgo area of our chart where it's putting some energy, some vitality, helping us to find some kind of love within that area of our life, to tap into the heart energy, to love, to find what we love within that Virgo energy. So the sun. So that's where we have a tense aspect at the moment, and we have the last few days, and it's still there, and it's going to be there for a little bit. Like, what are we at, 30th? So 2 days later, we're still feeling this energy of the sun and Mars in a square. So although we've got that good Mercury energy there with that trine, we've got this square. So there still is some kind of restriction, something holding us back, and it could be to do with, because that's where it does come in. It sort of going to contradict myself a bit of what I just said and say that we can be too caught up in our heads and our minds and not able to take action and move forward because of our egos, because of us not being in our heart and following what our heart really wants and desires, because we're too stuck in the energy of wanting to fix everything and repair everything. And it's like, just move on and don't worry about fixing things. Like you don't have to fix it. It's like things don't have to be perfect. It's like stuck in perfectionism. And unable to move forward because we want things to be perfect and to be 100% correct before we move forward, instead of just taking the action and taking the risk. Everything has to be planned and calculated and to the T. All the details have to be planned out and written out, and or, you know, attention to detail and all that. And so it can be like holding us or stopping us from taking that action we need. So although our mind can be quite focused, there's a part of our soul and our ego that's holding us back. So it's not the mind and overthinking that's holding us back. It's the soul and the ego stuck in the bad health. Like you could be stuck in bad health that's holding you back, or it could be that you're so disorganized and untidy it's holding you back, or you've got no kind of plans in place that you can really take that action, or your body is stuck and stagnant, especially at Mars and that Virgo energy, and the sun. Your body is stuck and you're not moving enough to get the energy flowing to take action. So it's like when we feel really stuck and restricted in our life, it can be because we're not moving physically. So if we go out and start exercising, doing yoga, start doing something physical or changing up our routine in some way, then things can change in our world, because it's an energy that just vibrates outwards and just has a flow on effect, you know, it mirrors out what we're putting out, sort of thing. So yes, so that's the energy we're going to be dealing with again still over the next few days. So if we go forward to later in the week, even to the 1st, which I think is like Thursday now, Wednesday, Thursday, depending where you are in the world, then we're going to still 8 degrees, 6 degrees. So this is like, pardon me, this energy we're going to be feeling for a week. Pardon me. Mars is there moving at 7 degrees, 10 degrees. Mars is at 8 degrees down here now. The sun's at 11. So, you know, 3 for fast moving planets too. The energy, you feel everything build up, but at 3 degrees it's really hitting. Whereas the slow planets, because they're so slow moving, they really peak at that 3 degrees, but you can feel them for so much longer too, because their energy is so big. Like it's, so intense, the outer planets. But again, it's more like can affect us more on a world scale more than personally as well, depending where it is hitting. And it's more those outer planets, when they really hit the personal planets, that then they really affect or come within those 3 degrees or 6 degrees, whatever it is. So, that you can see that they're sort of just dancing along together through the chart for the next week. So Mars down there 8 degrees, the sun's there at 11 degrees in Virgo. So if we move forward another day or so 6th of September, where are we at now? 6th of September is going into the next week. So I'm talking about the astrology for that week, next weekend. So, you know, where are we now? We're 13 degrees and 9 degrees, so 4 degrees. So it's the sun's moving away, but Mars is still moving quite fast. Mars is not moving slow at the moment because it hasn't started its retrograde yet. It'll start to slow down as it gets closer to the retrograde energy. There we go. So the sun's moving quite fast away. So it's slowing down Mars. It does start to slow down in the next 2 weeks. So the sun and that Mars energy, definitely for the next week or week and a half, is still going to play out. So everything I just spoke about, that intensity around our body and our mind not being in balance and harmony because we're not looking after ourselves, all those things, we're not showing up for ourselves, all that sort of stuff comes into play too. So not taking enough responsibility for ourselves and our well-being maybe too. So Saturn and Venus in that opposition, that's tense as well. So how long is that going on for? 28 degrees. Venus is at, hang on, where are we at? Oh, we've moved back. I'm like, hang on. 23 degrees. So 31st of August. So again, so midweek to later and the end of the week, we'll start to feel that Venus energy move on and get out of that opposition with Saturn where we're feeling so restricted about our finances and our money and, you know, having to see the other point of view and all of that stuff. So, okay. So we're on like around Wednesday now. Hey, baby bear. So the moon will move into Scorpio later in the week too, after it gets out of Libra. So the moon will late in the week, so towards the end of the week, we'll meet with within south in Scorpio. The moon will meet with the south node. So the moon and the south node coming together is triggering every month that eclipse from May, the lunar eclipse in Scorpio. And it's going to keep triggering it until we hit the solar eclipse in Scorpio in October, November. So I think it's November. So that energy every month is triggering. I mean, it's triggering exact for the conjunction, but it's going to square. It's going to do this, all these different energies. But the main energy playing out every month when that moon hits that south node is going to be about that emotional release and letting go of fear, of what's keeping us stuck, where we're holding ourselves back, where we're not stepping into our power, where we're stuck in trauma, where we're just stuck in that dark, murky, muddy energy of Scorpio and not moving forward, where we're relying on other people's resources and outside sources to gain our own power and strength and fearlessness and all that stuff, to be able to move forward and to leave the past behind, to leave our fears behind, to move towards our destiny and our karma and our future. So because that moon is opposite then the north node, that means, and will be opposite Uranus too at some point, it's that, opposition energy. So what are we needing to release and let go of? What's keeping us held back, stuck in fear, all those things, not in our power, so that we can move forward towards our future and destiny. So that opposition or energy can come out from outside sources, from other people, or an internal battle within ourselves, trying to find balance and peace and harmony there. So, Hungry Soup, I do. You can purchase a reading with me through my links, or if you want a free reading, then I usually do them at the end of my streams. But today I'm running out of time, so I'm not going to, because I'm 3 hours late because I had to reformat my computer. So I will do readings next weekend for sure, when I jump on. So Uranus retrograding too means that it's moving away from that Saturn square. So Saturn is at 20 degrees in Aquarius, and that Uranus in Taurus at 18 degrees, it's moving away. So this Uranus-Saturn square that keeps triggering, which triggers all this crazy shit going on in the world, it's going to meet again exact, is it November, December? And that's when, we're going to have some extreme things happen in the world, some extreme things come out in the world or happen in the world, changes, because it's that liberation energy of Uranus with Saturn. Saturn's all about the rules and showing up and doing the right thing and doing what you're told, and Uranus is all about making its own rules and not and doing what it wants to do and having freedom and being able to do what it wants. So those energies in that square we're coming up against. So we see restrictions in the world happen when these energies come together, and we see the collective changes happen within the collective, within the financial system, within our food, within our agriculture, within our resources. All those things get shaken and stirred up with Uranus there, and it's to do with authority and the bigger picture in the future, and outside authorities and institutions trying to restrict us and hold us back, or trying to make us show up and follow their rules and regulations, and Uranus doesn't want to do that. So I just have one small question. Do you know what a 29-degree sun represents? Yeah, so the 29th degree is the most intense degree. So if you've got your sun at 29 degrees, then you're going to feel that sun energy so intense. So the last degree is the master degree in a sense. So it's that last degree. So it's like it's moved, the energy, the planet, whatever it is, has moved through all the sign. It's got to that last degree where it's the most intense before it moves into the next one. So it can feel so intense because it's about to shift energies. It's at the end of the cycle, so it's come to a culmination point, a finish point. where it's mastered that energy. And the last few lessons and bigger parts of that energy we're here to learn will come through. And it feels uncomfortable because it's about to change signs into another energy also, which is again where the 0 degree becomes quite intense too, because it's that new energy, that new sign, and it's uncomfortable at first until it starts to move through the energy, becomes more comfortable, starts to understand it and integrate that energy, because it's two energies coming together. So we've got a sign and the planets, energies integrating and coming together. So depending, so if it's your sun, your soul purpose, your soul mission is going to be at the extreme. You're going to be feeling it so much. So if you have in your natal chart that sun at that 29 degrees, you're going to have a big soul purpose. You're here for something big that's going to fulfill your soul in some huge way. It's also a huge energy of like putting yourself out there, your heart, in a sense, because it's stepping into that heart energy. So it's living by your heart, what you love, what makes you happy to that highest degree, and not letting anything else influence that, because it's part of your soul purpose. You just feel this intense soul drive to fulfill and to be happy and to feel that soul purpose, depending where that sun is in the chart. So, if it was right now in Virgo, so it's like fulfilling that soul purpose to be of service, to help others, to have a healthy body and mindset, and to be your most perfectionist best state. There's like this intense extreme energy to master that and to be that and to feel that, and whatever. So depending where it is, that energy is how it can play out. And it's where we shine, what lights us up, what shines, where we shine as well. So it can be, what makes us happy and what makes us most happy and interests us the most, and where we get the most happiness and all that sort of thing from. I'm a Scorpio sun, 8th house. It can be excruciating. Oh yeah, that's very intense. I have an 8th house sun, but mine's a Taurus. So Scorpio, 8th house sun, it's the energies aligning. So you're an Aries or Pisces rising likely. With that 8th house Scorpio sun energy. So that's extreme, because you've already got Scorpio in its 8th natural house sign and the sun's there. So a big part of your soul is going to want to to dig deep and like to transform. You're gonna have a lot of transformation and change throughout your life. It's also going to help you to tap into like the darker side of life. So not so much that it doesn't always mean that you're going to, because it's the sun too, it's like what lights us up, what makes us happy. You may not always experience like necessarily so much trauma, but you're going to go through a lot of experiences that help you to that are going to like take you to the deep depths of your soul, to help you to step more into your power, to not be fearful, to be more courageous, to go after what your heart wants, and to not be held back by fear, and to not be held back by trauma and by not feeling secure and whatever within yourself too, because that Scorpio energy can have a lot of insecurities as well. So it's being bold and courageous and powerful and strong within yourself and your soul, and living out that energy. Okay, so what else for the week as well? I think that is enough for now. I only wanted to stream for an hour, and it's probably been an hour now. So I just want to quickly go through each sign, so each rising sign, where there's some energy. So if we want to focus on, say, I think we should talk, should we talk about Mercury retrograde now or next weekend? So we've got Mercury retrograde, which is quite intense. We've got this Sun opposition. We have this Mars Sun square. So maybe we should talk about this Mars Sun square and where it's showing up for you. But then we were talking about Mars and Gemini energy in general. There's always so much going on at the moment in astrology. It's so hard to just talk about one specific thing and what's going on. All right, we might talk about this. I don't want to go too long for each sign. And if I talk about two energies, it will. All right, so let's just talk about should I do that next week? Okay. The more I think about it, the longer I'm going to take. All right, we're going to just, I'm trying to try and do this. Oh, no worries, Hungry Soup. So I'm going to try and work through this fast. I always plan to do it fast, but it takes so long. But just say a couple of quick points for each sign, and then actually I'm going to quickly pee. A couple of quick points for each rising sign, so you can listen for your rising sign, your sun sign, your moon sign. But first of all, your rising is going to be the most accurate because it's laying out the different areas of your life in your chart when we speak about it, and where this Mars Sun energy is happening for you. So just give me a minute. Okay, so to make it, I think, a bit faster, so I'm just gonna, so again, that Mars Sun energy we said was where we're feeling restricted and unable to take action because we're either too stuck in our heads or we're not organized enough, where we haven't planned out enough, we haven't fine-tuned the details, we haven't communicated enough, or researched enough, or any of that sort of stuff. Basically, our ego's getting in the way. We're not following our heart because we're not showing up for ourselves or something, in that, you know, we're not putting the energy and effort and showing up for ourselves and our body and our mind and all of those things, and our health and our organization, and we're spending too much time on too much stimulation and outside information, and not focusing on our self and what our heart and soul is speaking to us and trying to help us to move forward with. So there's something there. So go back and listen to what I said before, otherwise to get more in depth. But otherwise, it's going to be happening for you in these different areas. So for Aries rising, all right, so now Aries rising, this is your second and your fifth house. 3 signs away, second and fifth, that makes sense. So let's just double check so I go on right. So 1, 2, Aries rising, third house, Gemini, silly me. Third house, and I don't have the chart up. No, I just have a normal chart, so not her rising sign. So we've got third, fourth, fifth, sixth. That's right, 3 signs away. So the third and the sixth house. So the third house is our communication, our thoughts, our thought processes, our learning, our speaking. It's our short distance travel, our local environment, what we sort of, you know, where we go to onto a like day-to-day basis. So feeling restricted or stuck there. And that sixth house energy is our daily routines, our health, our mind, our body, our well-being. It's our work, our co-workers. It's our like our body and our exercise and diet and stuff like that, basically. So there's some kind of energy there that you need to, we're feeling restricted and stuck and need to get more in touch with the soul energy and to plan out or get more reorganized, all that stuff, basically. So I'm just going to say which houses, and then you can kind of put the pieces together. Okay, so for Taurus rising people, then it'll be second house and seventh. Second house, I guess. No, I'm going to confuse myself. Second house and we're going to go backwards now. Fifth house. Second house and fifth house. So the second house is your finances, so where Mars is wanting you to take action, but it's currently restricted around your finances, your money, your resources, your self-worth and confidence, your skills and abilities. and that restriction with the sun in the 5th house is all about what you love. It's about your heart. It's about your love, your passions, your desires. It can be your love and romance. It can be your hobbies, your passions, those sorts of things. It can represent children. So some kind of restriction there, obstacle, whatever it is, between those two areas, between that second, finances, money, all that, and the 5th house of fun, play, pleasure, romance, love, hobbies. All skills and abilities come into that again too as well. Okay, so for Gemini rising people, so it'll be in your 1st house and the 3rd house. 4th house, sorry. 1st house and 4th house. So the 1st house, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4th house. 1st house and 4th house. So 1st house is all about you, the way that you present yourself, the way you show up in the world, the energy you're putting out. It's your physical body. It's your the way you come across to other people. So people's first impressions of you as well. It's the self, you and you, the way you're guiding your life, basically, that 1st house. So with that 4th house, 1st house and 4th house energy, about the home and the family. So something around yourself and you, and all about you, up against that restriction, that obstacle around the commitment around the family, the home, the ancestry, the heritage, around you having a safe space where you can nurture and care for yourself. For Cancer rising, it will be the 12th house and in the 3rd house. So the 12th house is where we go within. It's where we retreat. It's a house of isolation. So it can be hospitals, retreats, places where we go to heal. It can be escapism as well. It can be our connection with the divine source, the universe, our higher self, our spirituality, God. And it's in that restriction, that obstacle, that stuck energy with the 3rd house, which is about, just want to make sure that's right. 1st house, 1, 2, oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3rd house of communication. And so like too stuck in our cycle, like we're having psychological issues or something like that too. It could be we're not connected to our source, our internal self enough, and it's restricting us from being able to express ourselves and communicate and speak and talk and write and be able to plan and to learn and to share information, or to get our projects and ideas out there, or to get together with people and connect and come into agreements, or get the marketing ideas together and put it out there, and all that sort of stuff. So there's like some kind of restriction there with you being able to communicate what your soul, higher self wants as well. Okay, so for Leo rising, it will be in the 11th house and also the 2nd house. So let's check that. It's 11th house, 12th, 11th house, and 2nd house. Yep. So 11th is about friends, friendship groups, our social circles. It's our community, our organizations we're a part of. It's the bigger, higher picture, our higher aspirations, what we're moving towards. In that restriction, that obstacle, that stuck energy with the 2nd house, which is all about our finances and our money, our skills, abilities, our resources, our financial security, our self-worth and confidence. All of those things coming in some kind of restriction there where they're not working in harmony together. For Virgo rising, it's going to be the, that means it'll be 10th and 1st house. We've got 3 signs away yet. 10th and 1st. So 10, 11, 12, 1st. Yep. Hang on. I hope I'm been saying this right now. Okay, so we've got 12th, 11th, 10th house, and 1st house. Okay. Still on par, right? That's a square. Yeah. Okay. So it's so much harder when you're doing it this way. Okay, so much for being quick, hey. Okay, so for Virgo rising, so 10th house and first house we're talking about. So 10th house is the career, our work, what we're building, what we're working towards, our legacy, our reputation, and that first house is all about us and who we are and what we're about, what we're putting out there, the way we're presenting ourselves, the way we're coming across, our physical body, our outlook on life, the way that we're putting our energy out, the way it's being reciprocated. It's the way people first see us, their first impressions of us. So there's some kind of restriction there with that. Obstacle within those two areas between work and career, and us, all about us and what we want and who we are and what we want to do in the world and our reputation and all that stuff. Then we have Libra rising. So for Libra rising people, this will be in the 9th house then, and the 12th house. 9th and 12th. So 9th house is all about our beliefs. It's all about our philosophy. I'm so bad with that philosophy. Philosophy. Our beliefs, our higher learning and education. It's about things that are far away, that are overseas, or that are long distance, or that are from other cultures, or that are far away, other religions, other beliefs, that sort of thing as well. So that 9th house, and we said 12th house, which is all about, again, that isolation, that releasing, that letting go. It's all about finding the connection with God, the universe, the higher self. It's a place to retreat where we go to heal. It can be hospitals, it can be institutions, any of that sort of stuff, where we self-sabotage ourselves too. So there's kind of a restriction there with those two areas of our life. For Scorpio rising, it's going to be in the 11th house. 11th house and the 8th house then. So 11th, 10, 9, 8. Yep, 11th and 8th. So the 8th house is where that Mars energy is, where Mars is wanting to take action and get organized and plan and do things, but it's feeling restricted from that soul energy about our body and our health and our organization and our being able to show up and all that. So the restriction, so that 8th house is all about our trauma and our healing and our fear and our power struggles, and the occult and things that are seen as taboo, and things that are to do with inheritance, banks, insurances, other people's outside resources and money. So investments, insurances, taxes, other people's money and resources, loans, any of that sort of thing in that restrictive energy with that 10th house. 11th house. The 11th house, which is 8th and 11th house. So 11th house, which is all about our friends, friendship groups, our circles, our communities, our organizations, the bigger, higher picture, what we're doing for our aspirations, and our community groups, social circles, all that sort of stuff. So some kind of restriction, obstacle, or something stuck there with that energy. We're not stepping into our true soul, heart, and looking after our body and our mind and ourselves in some way, not honoring that, being too stuck in our heads and not being organized and healthy enough and showing up enough for ourselves and all that sort of stuff, and too much outside influences and stimulation and all that. Okay, so for Sagittarius rising, this is going to be in the 10th and 7th houses then. So the 10th house is our career, our work, what we're doing for to what we're building towards, our reputation. It's our legacy we're creating, and we're talking about 10th and 7th houses about our relationships and how we relate to others, and our partnerships and our business relationships and partnerships, our one-on-one dealings. So some kind of restriction, obstacle, stuck energy between those two. So for, again, like the solution is to find that follow that sun energy, step into our heart energy of trying to find our vitality through our health and well-being, through organization, through healthy eating, through diet, through exercise, through having a good healthy routine and all of those sorts of things, and not being too stuck in our head and getting back into our body, grounded into our body. Sorry, Libra rising. So that was the 10th house, and I said the 7th, relationships. Okay, so sweet. So I said Sagittarius rising, sorry. So for Capricorn rising. It is going to then be in the 9th house and the 6th house. So 9th house, where that Mars energy is, and then 6, yep. So 9th house, where that Mars energy is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 5th house. And hang on. Now I'm confusing. I shouldn't have done it this way, hey. This is showing my skill, really. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 5th house, 6, 7, 8. 5th and 8th. Didn't I just talk about 5th and 8th? I swear. I think it's because we get to the opposite signs and then it switches. Okay, so 5th house is all about, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I was right. 6, 7, 8, 9. 6 and 9. Okay, sorry, it was 6th and 9th house. I'm going backwards for some reason. 6th and 9th house. So 6th house, where Mars is, where we're wanting to take action, but we're too stuck in our heads and too much information and all that. And that 6th house is around our work and our career and what we're doing on a daily basis, how we're looking after ourselves and our body and our minds and our work and our co-workers. And that 9th house, where that sun is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, where the sun's lighting up that area of our chart, trying to help us to get more organized and find a healthier, grounded, more plan, basically, and body and routine for us, basically. That 9th house is all about our beliefs and our ethics and our higher education and our learning and our teaching and things that are far away or at far distance and other cultures and long distance travel and all that sort of stuff. So there's some kind of restriction or obstacle or something stuck there for you between your work and career and what you're doing on a day-to-day basis and all your responsibilities, and between you wanting to maybe travel or to learn more or to get some more education or something like that. Okay, so there next is second last, Aquarius rising. So for you, this is going to be in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th house and 8th house. So where Mars is in the 5th house is where the drive, where he's wanting to take action, but he's restricted and stuck because we're not in that heart soul energy of our well-being and our healthiest vitality, and we're too stuck in our heads and our minds and focused on getting too much action and things done instead of focusing on our body and taking things slow and doing things properly and correctly, not rushing into things. So there's restriction there, and so that is, what did I say again? 1, 2, 3. 5th house is all about what we love, what makes us happy, our pleasure, our romance, our hobbies, our creativity, our children, how we play and find pleasure and love, all of that stuff, up against the 8th house of trauma and healing and other people's resources and money and finances and where we're not stepping into our, where we don't have, where there's power struggles and all that sort of stuff. Trauma, healing, other people's resources, money, finances, taxes, banks, inheritance, insurances, all that sort of stuff. Okay, last sign, Pisces rising. Okay, so for Pisces rising, this is going to be 4th house. Gemini's that 4th house energy. Air, creating a square. So 4th house and 7th house. So around your home and your family and your where you nurture and have your safe space where your local environment, like your environment around, not local, but your environment, your home, your ancestry, your heritage, your family, your roots, all of that stuff, your property, with where you live, and with relationships, that square. So it's something to do with family and relationships and business contracts or relationships with others, or one-on-one relationships, the way we relate with others. So something restricted there with those two. Okay, so that energy is playing out for the next little week and a half. So it is intense. Been going through it for the last few days. We're going to be going through it more. That Mars is so just potent and prominent at the moment with just what's coming and what's happening and just what it's doing, and just like it's just so like Mars in Aries is fiery and passionate and warlike and courageous and bold and all that, but Mars in Gemini is like a loose cannon. It's like it can go any way because it's just mutable energies, and it's Gemini energy can be scattered and all over the place. So who knows what Mars is going to do next, that sort of concept. So okay, so that's the energies. That's it for the week basically. Make sure you follow me on Instagram as I post more regular updates on there. Make sure you subscribe, follow, whatever it is. I will be back again live next weekend, hopefully, and we'll go through again the astrology and what's going on the week ahead, and we'll do some chart readings too. For anyone that wants a birth chart reading, I'll do a few readings, and not birth chart reading, sorry, we'll be looking at your birth chart to see some current planetary energies and how they're playing out. For example, like that Sun Mars, where it would be hitting in your chart and what it means personally for you. Because this is just an overview of where the energies are within the houses of your chart, but it doesn't tell you if it's hitting exactly on a planet. That's where you need to get a personal reading, which you can book with me in any of the links anywhere to get a reading, and we can go through your birth chart and how the energies affect you directly in your chart and how things play out in your life. Astrology can be so accurate to the dot, to the day, maybe not exact theme with a generalization of themes or things that can happen, but usually when we're looking at the chart, exact and personal details, and we can look at many different charts in a reading. We can look at your natal chart, we can look at your progress chart, we can look at your solar chart, so many different things we can put together, and then we can see how the energies are affecting and where they will likely be hitting, not likely, but where they will be hitting and what it can mean for you. Of course, there's always free will. There's never anything that's, exact or like definite, but there's definitely the themes and energies we can tap into and what's surrounding us. So that's it for the week. Take care. Thank you for being here. Have a great week. And like I said, just follow me on Instagram, Christine Venus Astrology, all the follows and likes. And please like this video. Please share it if you want. And otherwise, I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.